Schrader, Assistant to City Manager, our HR Administrator and Deputy Clerk, Ms. Gross, our DPW Superintendent, Mr. Ladd, our Police Chief, Mr. Paul Shakinis, Deputy Chief, Ms. Kolke, Fire Chief, Mr. Coomer. We also have DDA Board Member, Mr. Millen, Commissioner Dr. A.J. Rahman, our Head Director Librarian, Mrs. Ralston. Am I missing anybody?
Yeah, the Mayor Pro Tems, or the Mayor's here tonight.
Mayor Ackley, yes, his visit is online as well, attending electronically. Mayor, would you like to call the meeting to order?
Yes, I would, and I thank you, and would you please call roll?
Ackley?
Here,
Ambrose?
from Ada County.
Thank you, Mayor. Ambrose? Fernandez?
Yes.
Locke? Lublin?
Here.
Osnick?
Here.
Woods?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, a little out of order, but we'll now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for Mayor Pro Tem to give the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear God, we ask you to preside over this meeting tonight. Help us to act as a unified team to open our hearts and make fair and just decisions that improve our community. Also, may we come together as a whole with the courage and strength to show kindness and compassion as we collectively work towards the betterment of humanity. Amen.
Thank you. And at this time, as we're doing things a little out of order, could we also have a motion to excuse Councilmember Locke due to her work schedule?
Woods will make that motion and add Councilman Ambrose too.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The next item on the agenda, I guess, will be a presentation by the Police Department for their oath of office. Chief Shakinis is going to be you.
Good evening, Mayor. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So on your agenda is Officer Mark Boudreau. His mom was unable to attend, so we're going to ask that we push that till next month's meeting, if that's all right with everybody. We do have here is Reserve Police Officer Kaylee Hall. Ms. Hall, will you please stand up? All right, Kaylee Hall joined her department last month as a reserve police officer. Ms. Hall joined her department in the fall of 2021. I hope I have these numbers right. Time flies when you're having fun. She joined us as an intern from Oakland University. Go Golden Grizzlies. Not that I'm an alum or anything. In 2022, she was hired as a paid intern and was recently promoted to oversee the Walled Lake Farmers Market operations. Most of you, and that's probably where you've seen her. She's doing a phenomenal job, but this is her true passion here. Don't let her fool you. She graduated from Oakland University in spring of 2022 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. She attended the Reserve Police Academy at Oakland Community College over the winter semester of 2022. Kaylee lives in New Baltimore, and here tonight, her proud mom, Nicole, and her Nana, Mabel. Did I get that right? Okay, very good. Madam Clerk, can we swear her in, please?
Deputy.
Chief, you did not mention, as I recall, she was elected as president of her academy class.
Well, thank you for pointing that out, sir. That is that is a fact.
Did us very well.
Yep, she represented the tiny small department of Walled Lake. Even though it was a sea of brown uniforms in the county, she rose to the top and number one, so we were very proud of her. So, come on over here.
I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, the Charter and ordinances of the City of Walled Lake, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Office of Reserve Police Officer according to the best of my ability. I do. Congratulations.
Welcome and well done. Congratulations.
Congratulations, how exciting.
And while I can't shake your hand, I do welcome you aboard.
Congratulations. All right, no support part. Mom, can you please come up and pin the badge? No pressure. Yeah. She's a police officer.
That's your mom.
All right. Everybody can see where Kaylee gets her height from.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Council.
Okay, you're all finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the next item on the agenda would be the public hearing for the 2024-2025 budget appropriation. At this time, we would open up the hearing. Are there any members of the public that would like to talk regarding the budget or anything related to the budget? I can't see the audience.
There are no audience members, Madam Mayor, that wish to speak, and there are no electronic hands that are raised either.
So I think it's appropriate at this time then to close the public hearing. So next on the agenda would be the proposed resolution adopting the operating and capital budget appropriations of funds and levy of taxes for fiscal year July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. At this time, is there a motion?
Do we have questions?
The appropriate thing would be to make the motion, get a second. Under discussion, we can, I'll have staff answer any questions that come from the board, members from the council, and then we can, if any amendments are made or anything like that, then we can do that at that time. But
I'd like to make the motion for the resolution.
Okay, do I have support?
I'll support.
Okay.
now would be the appropriate time to clarify anything. You have
We have
questions of the
discussion.
budget.
Councilmember Fernandez.
Those questions, Mayor, would go to our finance director or Mr. Schrader over there. If they can't answer them, then I'll go find somebody that can.
Okay.
Pressure's not on there, guys. The pressure's not on.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have a couple questions. We have some capital outlays, one for $60,000 in this budget, and then doing our three-year budgeting process, we have $200,000. Can you expand on what those projects may be?
So to a large degree, they're placeholders to give the council and the manager options for any capital improvements that may arise during the year.
Okay, thank you. The other one is, we have street sweeping in there. Is there something that we hire out, or do we do that? How is that process?
We do hire out
Okay.
for street sweeping several times throughout the year. Our biggest one is we do major street sweeping throughout the city before our Memorial Day Parade, which is our biggest.
Perfect, thank you.
If, Councilmember, if we get into the street sweeping business, it creates a whole nother level of maintenance and all of that. So it's cheaper for us in the long run to stay out of the business of owning a street sweeper, certifying people to get rid of toxic waste, which it has to be treated and delivered. And so this is the cheapest way for the smaller communities to deal with it. The larger communities probably do own their own stuff and do it in-house. We are much better by contracting out, and that's what we've done for 13 years.
Perfect, thank you so much. Appreciate the answers.
Thank you. Is there any other council member who would like to speak at this time or have any questions? There being none, I guess we're ready for a roll call vote.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Locke, Lublin,
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Ambrose, Ackley.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. So the next item on the agenda would be, at this time, are there any requests for agenda changes? Council members, city manager, anyone? Nothing? Okay. Jennifer, I'll turn it over to you for audience participation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For audience participation, for those attending electronically, you can hit *6 on your telephone keypad to unmute. And for those that are in person, we do ask that you approach the podium, please. You have 3 minutes, either version of attendance. And are there any audience members that wish to speak this evening? There are none in the audience, and there are none online, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
And I would like the record to note Councilmember Ambrose is present this evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Mayor. My apologies.
No problem.
I want to know what your
Okay,
vote on the budget is. That's what you...
You know my vote, Dennis. You know.
No, I do not. Only till you cast it.
I keep you on your toes. Don't worry.
Yes, you do. Mayor, I'd like to take a moment to thank the council and yourself for participating in the workshop sessions that we had. I think that made everything a lot smoother. Everybody was in attendance in their own way. They were here. They did the mornings with us, drank the bad coffee we provided, and ate the donuts. But that's what makes it such a smooth process. As each of you know, this is the basic budget, and you'll be working on special projects that the money allows as we go along, like the way we've done it for the last 13 years. So thank you for your participation, and that's by coming on those Saturdays that you gave up to come in, those Saturday mornings, you helped the process along, and I appreciate that, and so does staff. So thank you.
Thank you very much. So at this time, we're through with audience participation. I would ask now for an approval of the minutes for the regular council meeting of April 16th, 2023. Do I have a motion, please?
Lublin will make the motion.
Woods will second.
Minutes.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any comments or questions on the minutes? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to council report. These being reports from council members who sit on other boards and commissions, either just as an advisory position or sit on the board itself. Does anyone of those members have any comments on the board that they attend, or boards?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to report on the Parks and Rec.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Parks and Rec is going strong. We're going into our summer season. We have all our concerts set up, so I think we have 7 concerts every Wednesday night throughout the summer, so I want to encourage everybody to come out to that. The Easter egg hunt was a roaring success. Tons of people, and a lot of fun was had, and want to make sure that the staff knows that we appreciate all the work that they did on that. It's a huge project. So Parks and Rec is going great.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? I know, Bennett, the library board hasn't met yet, right?
That's correct.
Okay. All righty, I guess we're through with council reports. City manager.
Madam Mayor, if you noted on the agenda, we've, rather than me go through the long discussion at every meeting, the consent agenda now includes those departmental and statistical reports, so you need a motion to approve the receive and
Yes, I
file.
noticed.
Receive and file the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Ambrose will second.
Okay, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a
Madam
couple
Clerk?
other items that I'd like to report on.
Go ahead.
Thanks to the good work of the city attorney, We do have a conclusion in sight with the water tower. It's been pushed back a couple of times. It was scheduled to come down before our parade, which we'll be telling you about a little later here, before the Memorial Day parade, but it's been rescheduled for hopefully the last time for the 30th. And everybody will be invited to come to watch that event that the unsightly water tower comes down. So that's a pretty important code violation to remedy. So look for that to happen in a couple of weeks.
Super.
Okay, another thing I'd like to mention is we have, as you know, we have probably one of the best educated staff groups in the surrounding communities. They've all got degrees and master's degrees and whatnot. But what we do have is a couple of certifications. We had 2 staff members, Jennifer, our city attorney. Of course, she has her master's degree in public administration, but she was recently certified after a 3-year program as a certified, help me out?
Michigan, yes.
Michigan Municipal Treasurer.
Yes.
All right, and so she can do that when it's time. She has done most of that anyway because we do overlap and keep it that way, but she's now certified to be a municipal treasurer. Yes, she is the city clerk, but she's also certified as a city clerk. So she's completed both of those programs. Each one of those was 3 years, and they were continuing. So she's got that. Second, the one I report on is Ms. Jakeway, who also has her master's degree in public administration. Ms. Jakeway completed her certification as a municipal clerk. And what that means is we have 4 certified municipal clerks sitting across from me on staff, certified by Central Michigan's extension program through the clerk's office, through the clerk's program, so they can all run the election. So we got that covered. And we also have Ms. Jakeway enrolled in the treasurer's program, and she got her first year out of the way this year. So that's the best news we got for those group. Other time, I want to report that we met with the road commission, and we have one of the county commissioners here who attended as well. And I would like Ms. Jakeway and Mr. Ladd to give an update to City Council on what was discussed at the road commission. We had a pretty lengthy meeting, and their whole team showed up. So if Ms. Jakeway could get us started and Mr. Ladd could help out with what it is on the agenda to get paid for the coming year. It's all about roads. Of course, it's all about money as well. So Ms. Jakeway, can you help us out?
Sure. So yesterday, the Oakland County Road Commission came to City Hall to share some of their plans that they have this year, but also in the coming years for Walled Lake. We talked about some of the goals for Walled Lake in regards to traffic, road improvements, some of the projects that are going to be happening this year, but also in the years to come. One of the roads that we discussed was Ladd Road. That is slated for 2025 is when they're going to be working on Ladd Road. Only the portion that is in Commerce Township, so they've got McCoy on there. So we communicated with the Road Commission on trying to figure out a plan on partnering with them to get Walled Lake's Ladd Road also done when they do the McCoy section of Commerce Township. So we talked about some of the strategic plans for improving some of the roads. I don't know if Dan has anything else to add.
Mr. Ladd, why don't you give them an update? I think everybody listening want to hear about 14 Mile.
Yes.
So insight on 14 Mile. That's best we can do, insight,
Right. The county they did put it out to bid, the project to resurface 14 Mile from M5 to Walled Lake Drive. So it's slated for this year. We asked them a timeline, and they leave that up to the contractors that are awarded the bids. So it will be in 2023, but it's whenever the contractor has a time slot that fits for their schedule, that's when they'll just jump in and get started on it.
Let me add to that. they brought us a picture of what they bid out, and there's a substantial amount of roadway being done, and they bid it as one bid. And of course, they explained that they bid it as one bid to get the cheapest price. Makes sense. But as part of that bid, they allow the contractor to decide what sections they're going to do first, which means that the road commission can't tell them to do 14 first. So the ones we have to be nice to are the contractors. But they're going to, they've contracted out, they're going to do the road from what we call Decker, but Novi Road all the way to 5, but they're going to turn left up there and go up Welsh all the way to Oakley Park, right? Oakley Park Road. Then they're going to do Ladd Road from just on the other side of the trail, which is in the other jurisdiction, not ours. Our road on that side is ours, and we're going to have to partner with them or do it ourselves. But that's going to go all the way to McCoy, and I think that all came under one bid. So when we get to it, it was when they want to get to it. The speculation will be that they go where they get the most done the quickest. That means they get a paycheck that much quicker, which tells me that the toughest part to do will be 14 Mile, which is as bad as Ladd Road. It's almost gravel. That may be the last part they do. We don't know, but that's speculation. We shouldn't be promising that that's going to get done anytime soon, except that they did say this year.
23.
So that's the best we do. That's the latest report from the road commission, and we have that's the latest information. Whatever's on the website, I'm not sure if they updated it, but we asked them that. And I do thank the county commissioner for coming to our place to participate with the road commission, and Ann was there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she was there too, and she asked some pretty important questions, as the commissioner did. And he's helping us out on Ladd Road. He's working that too, so we're all working that. And we may have to come back to you as a council and say we need to sweeten that pot to partner with the road commission or the contractor, if you will, to get our section done at the same time they do McCoy and the other part of Ladd Road. So we'll be talking about that again probably pretty soon. And I think that's about it for me, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you. Do you have anything else, Dennis, that you need reported on? Are we done with yours?
I think I'm done. I think so.
I think you're done? Okay. Then I would ask the clerk at this time if you have any correspondence.
No, Madam Mayor, we do not.
Okay. Then we'll move on to the attorney's report. Looks like he's been busy, so. What have you got for us, sir?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. What you have before you tonight are 3 proposed ordinance amendments that all essentially do the same thing. They adopt a liability waiver to the various sections of our codes of ordinances and the zoning ordinance that would adopt this liability waiver, which would give the city a valuable legal defense in the event of any type of a legal challenge to the city's either site plan or licensing process. As I reported at last month's meeting, there's recent case law that came out that has upheld these types of liability waivers, and as I indicated, they do provide the city a valuable legal defense in the event of a legal challenge, which, as you know, we've experienced in the past. So I would recommend that you approve first reading for each of these 3 proposed ordinance amendments.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the first one up is the ordinance C 367-23. Do I have a motion to approve and support?
Lublin will make the motion to support the first reading. I think it's the first reading of ordinance number 367-23.
Thank you.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or comments before we vote? There being none, would you please call roll?
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
The next ordinance is number C 368-23. Do I have a motion?
Olstek will make the motion of ordinance number C 368-23.
Woods will
Is there
second.
support, please?
Woods will second.
Okay, any questions or comments at this time? Roll call, please.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like the third one is C 369-23. Do we have a motion on this one, please?
Lublin will make that motion to support the first reading of ordinance C 369-23.
Ambrose will second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Hernandez?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I think I went too far here on my pages. Okay, next is unfinished business. It doesn't look like there's any. New business, we have a few more ordinances before us. Does anyone want to comment on these, or do we want to make a motion first, or? I guess we'll get a motion, get it on the floor. Do we have a mo-
Woods will make the motion to approve proposed resolution 2023-16.
Okay, is there a second, please?
Fernandez will support.
Okay. Anyone have any questions, or they understand what we're doing here?
Would it probably be a good idea to have another explanation of this, just for the people that are watching?
That would be fine.
Yep.
Sure.
Who would like?
The finance director will handle that.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. We are looking to submit for this year a Michigan Pension Grant Program that is available to us through the State of Treasury, and that is going to help us get our pension liability up to 60% funded. As you know, currently, we are 60% underfunded. So we are looking to get that application submitted for this year. City Manager, I'll let you tell them what we're applying for.
60% doesn't mean much to other folks. I think when they first reported it, and we reported it here, and all of the data that comes out, it says we're 34% funded. Well, from where you sit, you should turn it upside down and see how much you're underfunded. Pretty simple math, 34 from 100. That's not good. What we're asking for, what I want to get is $4.5 million. And if we get that or anywhere close to that, that puts us about 60%, which puts us back in the black, if you will. Right now, we've been floating, treading water, doing all of that, keeping it, no new debt, none of that. The biggest debt you got is that unfunded liability, and we were waiting for this opportunity, thanks to some good movement by the state, who recognized that these mistakes have been made by previous administrators, previous councils, making promises on pension debts and benefits that they didn't fund. And now the money's available. We believe we can get it. I'm hoping for $4 million. That goes good. Maybe less, maybe more. But that will put us back in a good, solid financial position. So we're a little past treading water. Some of the stuff that you folks have wanted to get done just couldn't get done, because if you're doing that, you're getting deeper and deeper. So we also have a lot less people than they had in the past. So that while pension, we still provide benefits, we have to do that. We have to continue to do that, as all communities do. But we have a lot fewer people. Everybody's doing a whole lot. So $4 million, I'll take $4 million.
Correct me if I'm wrong, these are federal COVID funds that the state has received and is now passing that out to the communities in this fashion. And that's what we're applying for.
That is correct.
Yes.
I don't know, I'd like to call it federal funds. I'm not sure why everything's a COVID fund, COVID is,
They enacted it during COVID, but you're right, they pretty
I
enact
don't,
when they're ready.
it's the taxpayers' money, it's our money, so, they're kind of redistributing it, and I'm not big on that, but I'm big on this one because it helps Wall Lake, and we're a little bit, we like to take care of our own. So if we can get anywhere close to $4 million, that'll go a long way to protecting not only the people who've already retired, but protecting your purse, your taxpayers, all the people who vote for you. So it's a good deal. They've done a great job of working on that and getting it done, and I think when this passes tonight, and I believe it will, I think that Ms. Pest will have that in the mail by tomorrow afternoon, so.
That's the goal.
All I need is a vote. 4 million.
Okay, let's do a roll call then.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next resolution up is 2023-17. This is one on our CDBG funds, which is by far not new to the city since it has been here since 1978. I'm not sure that it takes any explanation, but if anybody has any questions on it, we would be more than happy to answer.
City clerk will give a short response on that. She's been handling it for 13 years, so.
She certainly has.
Yes, so this is it's not an annual, but it is a every 3 year in order for us to participate with the Community Development Block Grant funding, which is a benefit source to our community as it has assisted in purchasing fire equipment, aided in housing. So it is something that I strongly encourage, and we all encourage participation with, if you would give approval for the next 3 years, 24, 25, and 26, to participate.
With that
Okay.
being said, Osnick will make a motion to approve the resolution 2023-17.
Is it?
Lublin supports.
Ambrose
I
supports.
think we all support.
I think we all support it. Okay, I agree there too. Okay, are we ready to vote on it? Roll call, please.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one up is 23-18. What's the pleasure of council on this one?
Motion to support proposed resolution 2023-18.
Osnick will support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have support. Any questions or comments on this? Alrighty, roll call, please.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Fernandez.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we got one more. Find it here in my paperwork. 23-19. And that would be the purchase of 2 police video systems.
Woods will
We
make a
need
motion.
explanation from the chief or someone there on this one, or are we all set?
The chief is going to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, we're looking to replace 2 of our existing WatchGuard video systems. We have two systems that are in our patrol cars from 2014. These systems work extremely hard. WatchGuard has warranted them. We are at the end of that warranty and then some. We did purchase the server that stores all of our video here in-house. We protect it. We have that. The systems are now moving towards a cloud base. WatchGuard has been purchased by Motorola, so we're looking to squeeze in a few of the WatchGuard systems before Motorola discontinues them. We're still going to continue to support them. Unfortunately, they're moving to more of a cloud-based, and the cost on that is exponentially higher. I can tell you that the WatchGuard systems have been bulletproof and are a great asset to the department. So we'd like to continue doing that, and this year we're asking for 2 new WatchGuard video systems, total amount of $12,130. That would come out of federal forfeiture funds, and then the install would also come out. Talking to our installer, it's about $450 per vehicle to install that system in. So.
Woods will make the motion to approve the proposed resolution 2023-19.
Fernandez supports.
My only question is, the install doesn't have to be part of the proposed resolution?
Or is it?
It is not. Again, we're looking at about $450 per vehicle. Our outfitter, Canfield Equipment, would be willing to do that. I apologize, we were late with the numbers for the install, but if we wanted to include that, we would add, $900 approximately to, not to exceed $13,000.
Woods will update his motion
That would be appropriate if the maker and the support is in agreement.
That's correct.
Yes.
Thank you, Council.
Okay, not to exceed 13,000, okay. All righty, anything else? Roll call, please.
Osnick?
Yes.
Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
So that was on the amended motion, and now we need a vote on the main motion. So we're going to do one more roll call, please.
All righty, roll call?
On the main motion, Woods?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Fernandez?
Yes.
Lublin?
Yes.
Osnick?
Yes.
Ackley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, the next item on the agenda is, looks like our last resolution. Would be, our last item here under new business would be the traffic control order for no parking on a portion of Leon Road. Chief, would you like to explain this and how it came about and what problem we're taking care of?
I hope to address one of the problems. Leon Road has, unfortunately, in the last few years, been the brunt of major construction on 14 Mile. They were the cut-through route. We saw an increase of about 300% in the vehicle traffic coming through there. Leon Road is a narrow 2-lane road and is never designed for that kind of traffic. One of the issues that we've been struggling with on top of that for the last couple of years has been parking. Residents on the east end of Leon who have access to the docks come down to the west end and our south end and park there. And what we're finding is that residents on that south end near the Big Dip are having trouble getting their mail because their neighbors up the street and their adjoining streets are parking there and they're not getting their mail. They're actually parking in between mailboxes to a point where the mail delivery will not happen, and it's happened numerous times. As a matter of fact, one of the residents is here, Miss Jamie Abbott. Would you mind coming up for a minute, Council, if you don't mind hearing from her? She's been directly affected, and I'd like to hear.
All right. Thank you. Welcome. I'm new to Walled Lake, so and I'm new to Leon, obviously. Sorry, I'm short. So last summer we moved into our house, and cars were parking like over our driveway as well, so like backing up was an issue because they parked 2 in a spot, and so it covers part of my driveway, but then they park in front of my mailbox and they try to squeeze in, and my neighbor's like, well, you have to learn to back in so that you can always see when you come out. And then across the street people park. So even just recently over the weekend, there was a big pickup truck on the opposite side and 2 cars there, so to get out, and it's really narrow, like how do you get out? And then there's people walking dogs and strollers, and it's it's very dangerous, like having all those cars parked there. So I went to the post office first because I said, I can't get my mail. I kept getting notes on there, unable to deliver, mailbox blocked. I'm like, well, I'm new here. Do I need to get a post office box or what? But, so I went to the post office, I came to the city hall, and then I was directed to the police department, where this officer kindly looked into my parking issue, which he saw today again, that they park right there and you can't do anything about it. So I was trying to get no parking signs, like especially on the side of the street where the mailboxes are at least, so that we can get our mail and we're not inconvenienced. So that was part of mine, but it's also a safety issue, so it's just really narrow. So, thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I guess, Chief, my question would be, maybe I'm being pessimistic here. I think it's good. The part of the problem that you're referring to with 14 Mile Road is going to go away as soon as we can get 14 repaved, I hope. But what about this problem just either moving further up Leon or moving over to one of the other side streets? Or are we just going to address that problem when it comes?
Mayor,
Are we going to no parking on any of the side streets? I think there's no parking all the way along East Lake Drive, isn't there?
That's correct. Correct.
That's correct. Okay, so we got that covered. But now my concern is, what are we throwing onto the other streets?
So a lot of these streets, the lake streets, what we call them, have no parking at the entrance to the streets. So we believe that hasn't been an issue. Leon has in particular. I don't know why. Maybe because it's a bigger road. With the construction traffic, that we've had several homes built in the community recently. The construction traffic has been brutal. We have no way to enforce the parking. So if council wants to send me back for an amendment traffic order to make one of the sides no parking from all the way down. What I'm proposing is no parking on Leon from East Lake to Arvida. So that would take it up to like East Bay condos. But if council feels that we need to move that a little further, at least on one side, we can bring that back next month. I don't know what the...
I'm just concerned that they're just going to move up. They're not going to, that little bit of a walk isn't going to stop them any if they're looking for a place to park.
I wouldn't recommend we send him back. I think you pass what he's proposed and then send him back and improve it the next time, but we don't need to wait a month.
Yeah, I agree there. I'm willing to pass what he's got, but I think we need to keep a close eye on it. And if he thinks expanding it is what needs to be done, fine, or
Most
whatever.
of these people, or many of the people violating, are residents.
They probably live on the street.
It gets complicated, so the people who live on the same street are parking. We're issuing tickets for that. We're not going to make them happy. They get really angry, but they live there. They just don't care that they block their neighbor's mailbox.
Correct.
Or their parking lot, or whatever. So it gets complicated, but we have the legal authority to make the enforcement. I would just pass what the chief proposed and then if we need to do it more, we do it more. But probably should get into the business of enforcing now because it's the summertime. And we probably do move them. You're right, Mayor, but we'll deal with that when they're moving. But these are all residents, and not all, but I would say many of them are residents that are blocking their neighbors' mailboxes and driveways and whatnot.
With the nice weather this weekend, and I'm not sure if there were graduation parties or what, but I got all the reports that Leon was a disaster this weekend. Both sides, it would have been difficult to get a fire truck down the road. And for us to move that many cars, that's tough. And ticket that many cars, that turns into a mess. But without some signage and without a traffic order, it'd be tough to do any of that.
I think that we should pass what we have and then just keep an eye on it and see what the response is. I'm probably in favor of that.
I'm in agreement.
The residents that live on the street that are not affected because they're not are you close to East Walled Lake Drive?
Yes. So
Right.
I'm right down, I'm the first house.
Right. So, I mean, the people that have parties and things like that, so they're not allowed to have guests park on the street. That's not, I don't think that's in the best interest. Certainly, we want to do something, and we need to, maybe the one side of the street.
So what I'd recommend is for this section, the south or the west section, that is narrow, and it obviously runs into issues. Both sides are, I believe, appropriate there. Further down the street, I believe you're right. We look at either the north or the south side. We can bring that back to you, whatever. We'll talk with the city manager and superintendent and see what we can come up with, either the north or the south side, but I think you're right, we do one side.
And I think if you go trying to decide which side is no parking and which side you can park on, you're going to have one side happy and one side angry. I have found out from experience, but we can work on that.
Right.
So we can't please all the people all the time.
No.
Okay,
We'll see
if
how
we're
this
ready,
works.
let's take a roll call vote.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes.
Lublin.
Yes.
Osnick.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Ackley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Okay, looks like
how that
that's
works
the
out.
last item we have for new business. We'll go on to comments. Before we go into council comments, I believe in the beginning I heard that our county commissioner is here. Do you have anything that you would like to comment on about tonight before we start?
Sure.
Is our county commissioner still in the audience?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you. It's always good to be here and just kind of listen in and find out what the issues are in the communities and, take everything back to our council and discuss it, and, wherever we can be helpful in any way, certainly do that. A couple updates. We have some significant progress as far as it relates to Oakland County Transit. So everybody probably remembers we passed the millage back in November, 0.95 mils for 10 years. So while we have been collecting, we have been working behind the scenes to try to organize what that transit is going to look like. We actually had a public hearing just this afternoon over at in Farmington Hills, and they have tentative proposals that I'll send along to the manager that were just released as far as what the first phase of transit looks like. And there is a feedback period right now where we can actually have the communities respond, see if it meets their needs, and then after that there is going to be sessions where we're going to actually have they're going to rotate through the different communities and have stakeholders from both the city as well as residents chime in as far as what they're looking for, what their needs are, and make sure those are being met. There's obviously going to be many phases of this development, so obviously it's going to take some time. The first phase of this rollout is anticipated for later this year. They're hoping right about September, if everything goes according to plan. I will be sending those along so you can take a look and see how that hopefully positively impacts our community here. So that's the big one. We also passed recently, as last week, the Acorn to Oak program. For those who may be familiar, there are mini grant programs that are going to be available to residents up to $1,000, and these are for I don't want to say children, but 8 to 18-year-old who have ideas for entrepreneurship, want to perhaps go to a camp, whether it's something that they can afford or can't afford. It's just meant to be helpful for them to kind of be seed money for them to pursue whatever opportunities they want. So that program will be starting probably late summer, early fall. We just got that approved last week, so that's a positive update as well. Other than that, things are going well. I've been appointed Vice Chair of Finance. I'm on the Economic Development Infrastructure Committee, I'm on the Transit Committee, and on the Mental Health Task Force. So as I'm continuing to settle into this role, got quite a bit on my plate, trying to digest as much of it as I can and keep you updated. So all good things so far, so I'll continue to do that.
Mayor, this is the manager. May I speak?
Yes, of course.
Since we have the commissioner here who is chairing several really important committees, I think it may be appropriate for a report on our transportation issues since we had a meeting with our WODA program. Mr. Schrader, I'm going to ask you to give the council and the county commissioner the information that you brought back from that meeting, and it begins with being asked to leave WODA because my designated representative, Ms. Jakeway, usually, if not always, votes no on some of their proposals. So their solution to that, instead of being transparent, is to suggest that Wall Lake should leave WODA. They had their meeting in essentially a backyard shed that they moved in, quite literally a shed, which is only big enough to handle about 6 people. There's no way that anybody could have a public meeting there and invite the public. That's on camera, videoed. Then they had closed sessions, and they sent at least one of my staff members who was outside. Okay, I get it, closed session, you're allowed to do that. But then what's discussed is pretty important. But we're having some real issues with WODA. I believe it's another government out of control. I know how it started. We joined them when they were starting, and they are completely lacking in experience, financial experience. Mr. Schrader, do not hold your tongue today. Tell the commissioner how bad it is with WODA and the management at WODA in terms of the $4 million that they're running, and you got somebody who was a dispatcher just a couple of years ago. It's kind of sad. You need to know that. Tell him.
So it has been a problem in the making for a while now, even prior to the millage passing. There have been instances where the public meetings, the open meetings law has been violated. There's been instances where they have bought buses by email. There have been instances where I have, on numerous occasions, called into question some of their accounting practices. There simply is not any leadership there with regards to somebody who would have the experience in accounting and finance. I raised that issue today outside of the meeting with one of the board members and expressed our concerns, not only with the comment about us leaving, but also about what I would characterize as a lack of understanding and experience in accounting. So we did find out today that they have every intention of increasing the service levels to 3 or 4 other communities starting June 1st. Whether or not that's part of the county's plan, I have no idea. We don't get any information from the executive director with regards to communications or meetings that are being held with the county. So we have some serious concerns with regards to where that organization is currently and its plans in the future. I've expressed those concerns with one of the board members, but have not done it in the meeting as a whole, waiting for some direction from the manager and the council.
Sure.
You just got the direction. There's some serious concern that they're handling millions of dollars with no experience. My biggest concern began during the budgeting process. The state of Michigan requires a process, and they did it tonight. We put together a proposal ahead of time. We allow people to participate. We put together they call it an appropriation act. It's a resolution that includes all of the instruments that we're giving to council, and it's available for the public to see. They pass their budget by the executive director, by whatever title she's going. She comes in and says it's going to be this many dollars. She provides nothing to the people who are on the board, and then they vote by motion. They got an attorney who says, well, a motion and a resolution are the same thing, and it's not. He's giving a legal opinion based on what the legal authority of a motion and a resolution is, but when the state law says you have to have an appropriation act and you have to have it on the desk somewhere for people to look at ahead of time, that means you got an instrument published. You don't do that by motion at a council meeting or a board meeting or any other township meeting. So those are the kinds of issues we're dealing with, and their solution to being transparent and open is to tell my team to leave. That happened today.
Well, and to build upon what the manager is saying, they also do that with regards to budget amendments. We don't see them in advance, they're not done by resolution, and there's just a complete lack of transparency and prior notice, if you would, or even public notice with regards to the actions that that board takes.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, that's new information to me. I will tell you that the other communities I represent have shared similar concerns. Again, we haven't gone into great detail, but I will tell you that the overall feedback I've heard so far has been in the same vein. So I will definitely take that back to our transit manager, Eli Cooper, and I will mention that to him as well. Right now, the first phase of what we're trying to do is take down some of the barriers between the communities. So right now, People's Express, as a provider, is in 7 of the communities that are adjacent to Walled Lake, as you probably know. They're the local provider to many of them, who have been very happy. Again, I personally don't have skin in the game one way or the other than to make sure our communities are happy and the residents are getting the service that they deserve. So right now, with part of that first phase of tearing down the barriers, we're trying to make one consortium, if you will, and have that provider, whoever that would be, whether it's People's Express or someone else, be able to transit, passengers, residents throughout the different communities without having to stop right at the border. So we are working on that right now. I will certainly take this back to our team as well and make sure they are aware. This is really good feedback. This is something for us to know, so I appreciate all of that. And as we continue to develop this, we will make sure that you have, communication with what's going on. That's something that we've sort of struggled with as well. As you can imagine, it's quite a long process, right, to get this all unraveled and roll this out countywide. But what we're trying to do is, as soon as we are getting updates from the team, and now we are part of it as the commissioners on the transit committee, we will be in constant communication with you as well, so that you have updates as far as where we are in the process.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, for letting me, thank you, Mayor, for letting me put that on the table tonight.
No, I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. Okay. AJ, did you have anything else, or?
No.
Okay. Alrighty, we'll move on then to council comments. Starting with Councilmember Fernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. Two things. First, I'd like to recognize that this is Police Week nationwide, and we want to make sure that we recognize our police force here in Walled Lake, that you are one of the finest organizations in the county, let alone maybe the state. We really appreciate all that you do to keep us safe, and whatever we can do to support you, we will. Second, and I should have talked about this in the budget, and I'm sorry, but I wanted to make sure that since Prop 2 passed in last November, brings on a lot of new issues for our clerks to undertake more hours, and I want to make sure, I did talk to Ms. Stewart and said to make sure that she feels that she was properly funded in the budget, and she feels that she is, and obviously she has a good team working with her. But they are going to have a lot of work coming up in the next few elections, putting those new policies in place. So just want to make sure everybody's kind to their clerk.
That's why we have 4 certified clerks.
That's right. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Woods.
With the warmer getting better, lots of activities that are coming up. So a reminder, tomorrow's the Walled Lake Farmers Market. It's been great so far, getting good feedback on that. Obviously, the Memorial Day Parade. Hope to see everybody there. Summer concerts that were already mentioned earlier. And then the Walled Lake Civic Fund fireworks come up in June. So it's pretty much a packed month and a half here. So it's going to be good in Walled Lake.
Thank you. Councilmember Ambrose.
Yeah, I want to echo Ms. Councilmember Fernandez as well as Councilmember Woods, one on our tremendous police that we have in the city of Walled Lake. We're only as strong as our police and fire and city administration, and knowing all 3 of them, we're pretty strong, so we're good there. 2, like Councilmember Wood said, the weather's getting nicer. Walled Lake is that area where people like to come and enjoy the lake, the downtown area, and the businesses, so it's looking good. It's staying good. The Walled Lake Civic Fund, their fireworks, that's coming up. That's super exciting. We're very thankful for the farmers market. That has been a tremendous, tremendous hit. It just keeps growing year after year, so it's very exciting. And then the Memorial Day Parade, absolutely. We're very excited to see that. Cases of Walled Lake will continue announcing it as we have done prior, and we're very excited for that Monday. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Osnick.
I'd like to echo all of those comments also, but I'm also very pleased to hear that the water tower is now going to be coming down. Sadly, it'll be coming down after the Memorial Day Parade, but I'd also like to give a special shout out to the DPW who are taking a very good care of the Sims Park. I live right in front of it. I see it on a daily basis, and it's well kept up. They're doing a wonderful job. And the police come by and they make sure that everything is kept nice and copacetic, and they lock it up every night. It's a very good shout out to all of the team also. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Lublin.
I'm happy with all of our departments, and everyone is well-run, and that's because of the people that are here in this room. And we appreciate it, and everyone continue doing what we're doing, and to our city manager. And the budget is, we get great audits, and we're on the right track. We continue that right track, and, we're doing our part, and you guys make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Lublin. For those of you who might have missed it, on May 10th, I completed my 13th year as your city manager.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
I didn't miss it. I have a
Sweet 13.
I remembered it well. I can only echo what my council and Mayor Pro Tem is saying. Kudos to every department in the city. And speaking of the city manager's anniversary, I was here for, well, we won't even say how many years before he arrived. But the change and what has happened in Walled Lake since that day, with the cooperation of the councils that we've had and with the city manager, it's just phenomenal, the things that we have been able to do when everyone's working together and in the same direction and not fighting for their own little territory or their own little chunk of money. Everybody's working for the whole, and it makes a big, big difference. And I think when you look outside and around the city, you can see that. But we have a fantastic staff from the top person on down, and I think they can all be commended. To them, I say thank you. And with that, if no one else has anything else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Okay. As I was told the other day, if there's no more business, you don't have to have a motion. So just go home.
Good night, thank you.